Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the inaugural session of Yoga Pravesha. So Yoga Pravesha is going to be a series of weekly talks, lectures, presentations that will feature alternative yoga practitioners and teachers who might not be part of the global yoga teaching Sangha, but contribute to the community with their talent, skill, and knowledge. We start the series with Anne Loeper. Anne is a visual artist living and working in Germany. She paints with the ephemeral material of the desert stories in real time in the eyes of the audience. As a trained sand painter, she skillfully incorporates her spiritual practice into her art. But how is the traditional wisdom of the Vedas relevant to Anne? It is her quest for truth and infinity that led her to the knowledge of the Vedas in the tradition of Adi Shankara. She has also been learning Vedic chanting from Shantala Sriramaia ji from Vedas studies and who is a direct disciple of the Challakere brothers in the Mysore tradition. Anne's daily practice has become an integral part of her contemplation of the teachings, as well as expanding and refining her skills as an artist. In this session, Anne will share how she unites Vedic chanting with her artistic expression and how we can all do the same. Anne, would you like to join us? Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Sophia, for the introduction. Thanks, Indica Yoga, for having me. I'm very
Thank
pleased.
you so much for joining us for the Yoga Pravesha session. So I'll hand over the session to you now, and I'll see all of you towards the end when we open for Q&A. Thank you.
So hello, everyone. I'm very happy to tell you a little bit from my life as an artist and how I incorporate Vedic chanting. And so I will start with a prayer, and after this I will dive into my life and the topic of discipline, motivation, all these interesting things for artists. So please listen to the prayer, or if you know the prayer, join me. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Ganana-antva Ganapatigam Havamahi Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannutibis Sidasadhanam Om Mahaganapataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinama Vitrevatu Ano Divo Brihataf Parvatada Saraswati Yajata Gantu Yaknyam Havan Devi Jujushana Gritachi Shakman Novacha Mushati Shrunotu Vakdevyai Namaha Charanam Pavitram Vitatam Puranam Yena Putastarati Dushkritani Tena Pavitrena Shuddhena Putaha Atipapmanamaratintarema Shri Satguru Charanaravindaabhyan Namaha. May we all have a beautiful afternoon or evening or morning or whatever it is for you. And yes, so I just want to shortly tell you what I was chanting. And I started with Om, which is invoking the Lord. It's the name of the Lord, nothing less. So, and this is a huge thing for us. So it's very hard to relate to what is the Lord, what is the cause of the universe. And that's why I invoked secondly Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, all the teachers that guide us on the way to reach the Lord, to reach divinity, and the whole lineage of teachers up to all knowledge, which is handed over to us through all these teachers and mentors in our lives. And then to Ganapati. Ganapati is the Lord of the Ganas, the Lord of the categories of the different parts. He puts them all together. He is like there is the tree, and then there is the forest, and then there are the clouds which carry the water, And all these different groups are so nicely arranged, and that they make the universe for us as it is. And this is the Lord of the Ganas. And I pray to Ganapati to fill my belly with confidence, to help me to relate to oneness, which is my true nature. So as your child, so that's what is in my mind, as your child, Ganapati, as a seeker of truth and knowledge, bless me in this pursuit, in this path towards you. May you facilitate this journey and help me address whatever comes my way on this journey. So here's the remover also, and the one who places obstacles removes them for us. So, and I'm also asking Ganapati, give me your grace, protect me, so that I can accomplish and discover that I'm not separate from you at any time. So we all know how many obstacles can there be on the journey. So we need the blessings of Ganapati. And the final thing in the invocatory prayer was Saraswati, which is my Ishta Devata, I can say my favorite goddess. So, and we are asking her for, she's the goddess of inspiration and speech, and we are asking her to be on our tongue, that I speak sweetly, that I speak things that are meaning for you, and anything coming from her is intimately connected to beauty, intelligence, harmony, and hopefully for the benefit of all. So may she come and may she bless my tongue, and may she manifest in me and come to me. So let me be her instrument.
Namaste. And I'm so sorry to interrupt, but can you be slightly louder? It's very low.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, of course I can.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So so I ask her to manifest in me, that she comes to me and that she lets me be an instrument to express beauty and harmony in the world. That her truth, that I become an instrument for her truth. So this was the beginning prayer. And to make it a little tangible for you, what I'm doing, I have prepared a little presentation, which I will share now. So, as you know, I'm a sand artist. I don't know if all of you know what sand art is, but it's an art where I create with the desert sand, with the sand from the desert, paintings which are ephemeral, which change, which I work with the shadow of the sand on a light table, and simultaneously, while I'm moving the sand with my hands, it gets projected for the audience. But you will see it immediately in a few seconds. You will see a video just to get us started on sand art. So I try to so, and to make it also a little personal, here you see me as a small child and already playing with the sand, and to also tell you, so who is the artist? The artist is definitely the inner child, which has the widely questions, which is playful, which loves to express and to explore. And that's why I have chosen this picture for you, that you get an impression that this little N is still existing in me, and also helping me to creating beautiful pieces. So, and I want you to ask at the beginning of this session, do you have that fragrance of your childhood in your life? That part which asks interesting questions and which never stops to want to explore things. So, and so do you have that freedom and that play in your life? So now, to get you started on sand art, I prepared a little video which I recently performed on a gala for on a gala for Child Aid, and they take care that children in India get education in the region of Assam. So, and sometimes I perform on these benefit galas to raise funds for getting children educated in India. And here you get a little impression how this looks like. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I cannot move on with my presentation. Don't know why. Here it is. So where it all started. As you know, I'm a trained artist. I studied illustration in Leipzig in Germany. And so during my studies, I discovered sand art, and I knew this would be a medium of my choice immediately, because before I was working behind the scenes in a room, separate from the audience, separate from the people who would actually see my paintings. And then I saw the sand art, and I knew immediately I want to do this, because it is so much in the moment. You are in contact with your audience, and it's much more alive. It's not a product; it's more a process. because this sand art makes visible the process, which I find is much more alive to reality than a painting which is on the wall, which is a frozen moment. So with my art now, people can see so how the painting has come about, and it's very much connected to the moment where I paint the painting for the audience. So when I started sand painting during my studies in Leipzig, I felt very happy as an artist, I have to say, to express myself in this newfound direct art. And in general, I walked very grateful on my path as an artist. So, but inside, I felt like I'm living in a kind of random world, and it did not make sense to me, that this is all about life, we come into being, we are more or less successful, and then we have to go. So, and all this is random. So there was a seeker in me, which always wanted to be addressed. And I looked in all kinds of philosophies, Buddhism, and I read philosophers, Schopenhauer, and all these persons. So I was lacking meaning in my life, and very strongly, although I was very happy with my talents and to follow the way of an artist. So it was that feeling of being at the mercy of circumstances and in a seemingly random world. So when I came to Vedanta, which is also one of the at the center of our discussion today. So when I came to Vedanta 2 years later, after I found the sand art, I changed inside out. It changed me as a person. It changed my outlook on the world. And at that time, I had this little runaway thing, I want to be a sadhu. I go to India, I will sit at the Ganges and I will have my chai and will continue to read philosophies, this little runaway from life. But Vedanta completely turned it into another direction, because from the world being that random, scary place, it changed my thinking into, okay, all that is here, there is no random. All that is here is one, and all what is here is divinity. And so it's not a scary place. It is. It brought back meaning to my life, and I saw no need anymore to run away from the world, and it pushed me on the other side. I found my place in the world. I knew this. My talents, they are not random. They are there for a purpose. So, and when once you study Vedanta, I'm not a Vedanta teacher, I will not explain to you this methodology now, but I can tell you that when you have understood, it's a very cognitive process, and when you have understood the concepts which are presented there, and you have used your razor sharp logic, and you have looked into things and inquired into things, then you don't lose sight of the fact that all that is here is one. And this trust, this understanding unleashes creativity in a very, for me, surprising way. And it turned my whole art into clay. You can see on this photo, this was during my studies, you see, this was another person, which you see now. And it turned not only my art into clay, also my life. And so when we say, it's a big sentence, everything is one in this world, and I am not separate from it, means I am also one. I am the cause of the universe. This is a big statement to make, but to put it into an emotional language, which for me as an artist, I see my task there to really present this and to also bring this with my art, and to put it into an emotional language, I would say I am able to receive creativity, and I am able to express it from that very source. And yeah, so it is a play with meaning. It has become a play with meaning, and I'm learning in the grand scheme of things. I'm exploring things, new ways to express. And for this, I also prepared a little video for you. Here you can see me on the right side with my sand table, and there's this orchestra, and there is the choir. And this is a nice symbol also in the scriptures, that and in the whole grand scheme of things, we play our little role, and every violin plays a role. And if there is a violin off, it will destroy the whole concert. So we are like musicians playing in the symphony of cosmos, and the better you play your role, the more beautiful the whole concert will be. And so I prepared this little video from a recent performance that you get an impression of me being this part of this orchestra. Jesus. So hopefully I can now navigate the next slide. It seems to take some time. So you may wonder, how can she paint Jesus when she is chanting and reciting mantras for Vedic goddesses? Let me first try. Unfortunately, I don't know. I cannot move. I will try again. Sorry for the... So, and as there is a symbol, in the scriptures, and it's like the Satya-Mithya relationship, like there is the wave and there's the ocean, and both of them are basically water. So like every wave makes the ocean, whether the wave is small or big, its very truth is water, like the ocean, like there's what I explained to you also with the orchestra. And in this truth, the wave is connected to any other wave and the ocean. And so hence every wave can pray for another wave. And from this understanding, a lot of freedom comes. And you may wonder why I can paint Jesus. For me, these are in Vedanta, you can look into things, and the meaning you give is actually what you superimpose on them. So if Jesus is love for you, then of course, I'm not here I don't separate the world into different goddesses, and I see only aspects, aspects of an all-encompassing intelligence, and the laws of the universe. And so when I pray, it is like I'm connecting to the ocean. I'm connecting to my very truth, which is water. I'm connecting with divinity. And in this moment, I would like to recite one of my favorite suktams, because Sophia asked me which is your favorite suktam or favorite chant. So of course there are many. So, but I want to invite this one now, and I want you to listen to it. Om Medha Devi Jushamana na Agat Vishvachi Bhatra Sumanasya Mana Tvaya Jushta Nudamana Duruktaan Brahatvadema Vidate Suvira Aha Tvaya Jushta Rishirбhavati Devi Tvaya Brahma Gata Shri Rutatvaya Tvaya Jushtaschitram Vindate Vasusano Jushasvatra Vinona Medhe Medham Ma Indro Dadatu Medhan Devi Saraswati Medham Me Ashvina Vubhava Dhattam Pushkarasraja Apsarasu Chaya Medha Gandharveshu Chayan Manaha Daivīm Medha Saraswati Samāam Medha Surabhirjushatag Svaha Amāam Medha Surabhir Vishwarupa Hiranyavarna Jagati Jagamya Urjasvati Payasa Pinvamana Samāam Medha Supratika Jushantam Mayi Medham Mayi Prajam Mayi Yaknistejo Dadhatu Mayi Medham Mayi Prajam Mayindra Indriyan Dadhatu Mayi Medham Mayi Prajam Mayi Suryo Prajo Dadhatu Harihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This prayer is actually a prayer which I recite before I go on stage, before I perform, or also before I create a new piece of art. I'm asking Saraswati to bless me with her intelligence, with her creativity, and I have to say she is like a diva. And here I want to start to talk about discipline. It is like, once you have understood that creativity is not always there, there are days you have ideas, there are other days where you have low days, and then she's just not there. But you train your life to live in this chaos, to live, you're ready, you're willing to live with this as an artist, to live with this kind of, situation where you just have to be there when ideas come. And yeah, so every prayer has, once you practice it and you recite it and you think about it, you contemplate about it, the more also the meaning of the chant opens up inside, and you come to see these aspects in your life. You really get more clear, more precise. You see, this is an idea. You can really discriminate what has come. It's a pure idea, let's say, or it's like me, the little artist, trying to create something. So, and also sometimes I'm trying to also these goddesses land on my scent table. So here you see Lakshmi, and yeah, so this is also for me a way of diving into these principles and spending time on them, put my focus on this. So while I'm painting this, I'm also thinking about why she has a lotus and why she is doing this, and yeah, so it's beautiful to spend time on it. And so Lakshmi was always for me a little difficult aspect in the whole creation, because it is the topic of abundance. So, and it was for me a deeper engagement with abundance. And it came, I want to share with you my insight, which I got from this. And because it touched every aspect of my life also, I came to see it as an inner aspect, an internal capacity to experience wealth and abundance. It's not so much, the outer wealth, of course, which is important, but it's more the inner capacity, the internal capacity that, that makes that creates abundance in our lives, to see our talents, to see the teachers, the possibilities which are there in every moment, which we may not tap all the time. So what makes us feel anything but abundant is our constant, focus on what is not correct, what is wrong, what is missing. So rather than focus on what is already good in our lives, which means Shri is not seen even when she is there in plenty in our lives. From what I learned in my last years of exploration is that it also means honoring our heart and our body, that Goddess, she feels invited. So I live a very pure life. When I get up in the morning, I'm doing my bath, I'm having my shower, and then I never compromise on my first sadhana in the morning, which is the Gayatri Pranayama practice. And so I will never go without of this into my day, because I'm asking for clarity. I'm asking for, being that vessel for, whatever wants to be done that day. And to invite her in all her grace, we need to prioritize the things that truly matter to us. For me, it is art and expression. And I don't know what it is for you, but so once we prioritize what really matters to us, we enable us to continually grow into a life of commitment and a life of expansion. So this is the way how we can commit ourselves, how we can get someone who gets disciplined, who likes to be disciplined, where discipline is not a burden, but a continuous discovery. So Lakshmi, if you look, for example, at Indian art, like this painting here, it's like literature. It's undoubtedly like an Indian philosophy. It's imbued with a spiritual practice and a purpose. For this, I will move to the next painting. Here you see all kinds of goddess. You see there's Saraswati, there's Shiva, there's Ganesha, and there is Lakshman. And so, so far, the example that a thoughtful writer, for example, puts on paper his ideas. The ideas he puts on paper are not so much a work of his art as an instrument for an invisible result to take place in the reader's minds. And so I'm thinking not only of the words of a writer, but I'm also think of the poetry of the rishis, of the chants, the one which you have just heard. And so it is a spiritual expression, as you can see in all these faces here in these paintings. And it may be a subtle smile or the gentle eyes of Shiva, which, shall induce peace and aim to induce peace or strength and contemplation in the beholder. So this has become very much part in my art. So I dedicated my art to this invisible result that gets produced in the minds of my audience. And this has really changed, from just being an artist who wants to express, but now I have slightly, subtly changed my approach. So, and through this commitment, coming back to the commitment, once you have found your purpose as an artist, we are letting go of alakshan, all that stands in the way and which nourishes old wounds or resentments and smallness. So very often the focus is on the leg. So even when praying to Ishvara, even when you have the vision of there is intelligence in this universe and I can actually ask for things, even then abundance is forgotten sometimes and overlooked. So, but when we prioritize growth and the things that truly matter to us, then the more easily we find a natural access to discipline. So, because discipline is something, that keeps your fire burning. So motivation is something which comes and goes. There is a day which is, I feel very motivated, full of ideas. It kindles the fire. But to keep the fire burning, also on the low days, you need discipline. So, and Vedic chanting, for example, really brought that into my life, to see the value of following a disciplined practice and to see how it carries you through the days. And so creative work is a play, and it is. And let me move on. Did you see the next painting? Here you see Krishna and Narasimha. So, and you can see even in the process and the last years of sand art, I got more refined, you can see all these details and the shadows. And so it has come because of repetition, because I'm doing this now since 14 years. And yeah, any skill depends on entirely on abhyasa, on repetition, and I'm constantly engaging in sand art and also repetitively, paint certain things, and you can see that they get more refined, more precise. And I'm also, inviting also, I'm working very much with the aspects of the universe in my prayers to get more refined. And yeah, so Lakshmi, coming back to Lakshmi, is like, it's thinking using the resources that the moment offers to me. I'm available for the resources that are there. So, and so I can, you need to find out how to bring into your life, how to bring it into your life, and how to be a playmate of God. So, and also, sand art needs a lot of concentration. I have over 35 pieces created, and some of them are 85 minutes, other pieces are 60 minutes long. And I have to keep the storyboards in my mind. I have the moves and also the rules of painting, and it takes a lot of concentration, and it also has to be there in that moment or on stage. It has to, I cannot do it. I cannot do corrections, or it has, I have to paint it once and I have to paint it right. And for this, I need a very focused mind. And what helped me a lot is japa, the japa practice, the repetition of the mantra for a given length of time, where I commit. We have this monkey mind, this, let's say, this associative mind, which is very helpful when I create a new piece, because it gives me ideas, and it's a nice way to brainstorm and to use that capacity of the mind. But when it comes to the stage situation, it's very, very unhelpful, that part of the mind, because it can carry me away. And when I have to paint Jesus and I'm thinking of an elephant, you will see this on the sand table. So the japa practice has really helped me to become that focused. And I learned to bring back my mind gently to that topic. So for my audience, it is much easier, because for them I always say it's a meditation for free, because they get so absorbed, because they just follow the paintings, and there is no effort on their side to be focused, because they are just soaked into the process, because their mind's constantly thinking, oh, what is she painting now, what will this get? And so the good thing is, they get a meditation for free, but also they come to see how this moment of absorption really is also, I have to say, healing, So when I'm doing japa practice, and I'm doing it for a certain length of time, yesterday I did 108 Triambakam, and this is really, the mind relaxes. And after, you can see, because the mind knows the next thought will be the same prayer, and will be the same prayer. And all these complexities of the mind come for a rest for a certain amount of time. And on the other hand, it is a nice practice to bring back the mind, which is very useful for me. And it deepens, your mind gets more deep. And when I'm on stage performing, and my mind wanders away, it's naturally happening. It's already automatically happening for me, that the mind comes back. So I also created this sentence, or how divinity can become an activity in your mind. So when I'm there on stage, I'm thinking only of what I'm doing. I'm completely absorbed into it. So discipline is like removing the dust from our minds. So And every day, you know, we clean our homes and we clean our laundry and our dishes, but we also have to clean our minds. And for this, I'm using the Vedic chanting, I'm using the japa practice, and so it helps me a lot. And I also want to name my teachers here, honor my teachers here. So on the left side, you see my professor, the illustrator Thomas M. Müller, and Volker Pfüller, illustrator. Both of them are amazing people who gave me insight into storytelling and how to create interesting paintings that carry a message. And then you see Nima Majmuda and Surya Tahora, my Vedanta teachers, with whom I study since 2012. And now online, they come to Europe. I organize retreats with them here. And on the right side, you see Shantala Sriramaia, founder of Veda Studies, and she's my Vedic chanting teacher, and I'm in her teacher training program. An amazing person, and yeah. So I will also share one last scent painting with you, because I spent very little time on how to narrate and how also the content of the Vedas influences my art. And because when you study Vedanta, your mind is really interested into seeing the truths and accepting facts in life, for example, death, you know. So sometimes we live in avoidance of it, but it is very much there. So I found an expression into this, for this into art, and I want to show you as a last little impression for you. The reason why I've showed you this is to show you there is death. Yes, there is death, and we all go towards the mouth of death in one day. But it's also a bridge, you know, a bridge into something else. So, and I just wanted to give you this little picture as an illustrator for your minds to think about it. And I will hand over now to Sophia if there are any questions to me.
Namaste, everyone. And that was so beautiful. Thank you. I really, really enjoyed watching that. I don't even know how, because it's live. I only just grasped the uniqueness of what you do, because it's live art, it's interactive, and it's constantly changing. But there's so many metaphors, because even in Buddhism, in Vedanta, nothing is permanent. All art is like this, all life is like this. So you capture that metaphor of impermanence through your art so beautifully. It's just wow. I mean, you're truly gifted, you're so blessed, lucky you. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful artistry with us. Really appreciate it. And I think we have one comment from Sumanji, who's saying amazing and great. Thank you for watching, Sumanji. And we have one question from Anjan Nandiji, who is saying, thanks for the unique concept of sensing the different art of experiential observation. How can you finalize the concept to rendering the result?
Oh, I'm not sure if I get the question.
Even I don't quite understand. What she means is, how do you, I suppose, come up with these concepts, and then how do you bring that to a result? Especially now, who can think of like a cave with a mouth and people walking into death, and we turned that within 5, into romance. So I think that's what she means. Where do you get your inspiration, I guess? Anjanji, if you want to expand on that, let us know, please.
I think I get the question now. How to put a concept into a painting and into an image idea. Exactly. This is a crucial key question for every artist, because there are already many ideas existing in the world, many things. But, for me, it's like I'm like pregnant with an idea. I'm walking, I'm going into I have nature walks, and I'm thinking about what has to be narrated, and I have trained myself in becoming receptive to ideas, what I try to convey with Lakshmi, when you're open to possibilities. I do my prayers, I'm asking Ishvara, give me ideas for this new piece, and I'm listening to the music, and I let things actually come up, so it's sometimes in the middle of the night I wake up and with an idea, that's how I can make this visible, and then as I said, it's discipline. I go to my scent table, I paint that mouth, and then I'm thinking how to move on now, what could be the next painting, how's the music. And this is really it's like you go back to this, let's say, self-evident I, you go to this very relaxed place, you shut off the world and you just listen, you listen inside. And, for me, this is really, I practice it a lot and I rely on this, and ideas come. They just come. It's like creativity is like endless, like this creation is endless, so. Now is spring, you can see, how everything pops up. And so every year, it's like endless. Yeah.
I think that was very beautifully answered. Anjanji, I hope that answers your question. I don't see any more questions for now. So can we share your details? Like if someone's in Germany perhaps and wants to come for your show, or even if someone wants to, see more of your work and get to know you, how does one get in touch with you, or a website?
Yes, my website is www.gesandet.de. And very soon, in like 1 or 2 months, there will be also an English website, so now it's only in German.
Sand, right?
Yeah, and it's a German word for scent painted. Okay. So, but
I just put the website, everyone, .de. Is that correct?
No, I will spell it.
Okay. Okay, we're just that's the correct one. I'm just gonna copy that and add it so everyone can see it. Correct. Yeah. So anyone who wants to get in touch with Anne, who wants to see her lovely work, we've just added her details in our chat, so you can access her website from there. And I think we have another question. Anjanji is saying, yes, thanks. You have answered her question. That's fantastic. Before we sign out, Anne, any message you'd like to leave us with?
Yes. So I can say, as a seeker, and, my seek has ended, because now I'm a pursuer. I'm going to India, and I love the wisdom which is there. And in the scriptures. And I want to share with everyone who is seeking to go for the authentic teaching, go for a traditional teaching, and feed your mind only with the true stuff. And also, what I also want to suggest, invite creativity into your life and playfulness, and yeah, it's very important to unleash these parts of us. They also want to live.
That's such a beautiful message to end with. Everything about this entire session was so gentle and so beautiful, just like art. And you're such an artist. It's just beautiful how that is expressed through you. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And thank you for everyone who joined us. Please join us every Tuesday for a Yoga Pravesha session where we're going to have a lot of inspiring sessions like these. And have a beautiful week. Namaste.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.
Bye.